Hey, thanks for joining us today. We're with Dan Voykin. He's the owner-builder of Sonoran Desert Home. He's a residential builder here in Arizona, originally from Chicago.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you coming in and sharing some thoughts with us.
I'm Josh Farley, president of Redline Electric and Solar. Join me as we talk to contractors, business owners, and experts who are willing to share their experiences to help you overcome obstacles when you're taking your business up and to the right.
Tell us what you do and who you do it for.
Well, basically, I do high-end remodels and new builds for clients, predominantly in the Scottsdale, Arcadia, North Scottsdale area.
Gotcha.
And basically, I try to focus on remodels right now, but I'm open up to work on custom-build homes.
Yep. Ground up.
But remodeling is very lucrative. You can do real well in it, so that's where I'm planted right now, and just with marketing.
Hey, we all have a niche.
Yeah.
How'd you get into what you do? How'd you get into it?
When I was about 21, I actually fell into it. I am actually a third-generation carpenter. My mother's grandfather was a builder. He built houses in Canada, which are still standing. And my mother was extremely handy. She could build bookshelves. My dad literally couldn't check oil in a car.
Gotcha. It was mom's toolbox.
Yeah, it was mom's toolbox, exactly. So I just kind of got into it, and I had a couple really good mentors. And for years, my friends and my parents were saying, why don't you become a general contractor? And I just was pushing it off. And finally, after having kids, I'm like, I feel I'm built for, and I'm really glad I pulled the trigger and went to the ROC, got my license, and now I'm off and running.
Nice. So let's walk through when you first started, or let's think back, maybe some of the struggles that you had, and maybe you do differently.
Well, one thing is starting a little too early, I guess, without a customer base and having jobs in the pipeline.
Gotcha.
I started my business, and it was a little hard to get off the ground, so to speak, and to get myself well known. I had a website, but I was trying to get a presence.
Yep.
That was a little bit tough.
Well, the Register of Contractors makes it to where you can't go out and advertise or sell without having a license already in place.
Correct.
So you can't really set up a pipeline unless you're like a handyman. You're doing some handyman stuff. So it's definitely tough. You know, that's just one of the obstacles that contractors face from the moment they start.
Yeah.
How do you get new customers now?
I really try to go above and beyond expectations of customers. I want them to be my basically sales force. I have a couple different ways I do that. I'm also working on a mailing campaign right now with title companies. I reach out to new owners in the area that have just bought houses in a certain zip code and a certain price range. And that's how I just landed this $250,000 remodel that you're going to be working on.
Like post office, like mail.
Like snail mail, yes.
Really?
It's very lucrative. Very lucrative. You should not discount that at all.
Yeah, everything's gone digital mostly, but I mean, I get advertising in my mail all the time.
Right.
I can't remember the last time I
what I feel, Josh, is really good, and online advertising is great, and so social media, but in snail mail advertising, if you send a letter, they're going to put a business card in there. You know, you can put a business card in there. They may hold on to it for 6 months.
Right.
In the fall, I sent out 1,000 letters in about 10 different zip codes, areas I mentioned, Arcadia, Paradise Valley, North Scottsdale. I got about 9 responses, so about a 1% return.
Yep.
Cost me about $1,000, but I was able to pay for it because I just landed this job. And they're from Colorado.
Gotcha.
And they just moved to town.
I mean, if the ratios are there, why not?
Yeah, the person who helped me with it, I worked with a marketing, a friend of mine from my kid's school who was a marketing I mean, the letter was great, and I can put it on your website. It's a terrific letter, and the response was good. But I had to give credit where credit was due. It just worked out real well.
Yeah, but you pulled the trigger, and now you know that if you send 1,000 more, you should get 9 responses. If you send 10,000 more, you're going to get 90 responses. Was that math right? Carry the one, making sure.
Oh yeah, so that worked out. That worked out really good. So as long as you keep the referral pipeline up and just deliver, I feel a little bit better than your competition.
Yep.
I think you'll be a standout. You
Gotcha.
know, I always fall back on. You need to always do the right thing, even if it's going to cost you a little money. Everyone's dealt with Costco, right?
Sure.
Okay, so if it's on the bubble with Costco, if it's right on the bubble, what are they going to do? They're going to always do the right thing.
Yep.
Perfect example. Me and my wife bought a camera there. our first purchase, we had a $900 camera. We took a whole bunch of baby photos, and we couldn't download the SIM card. And we took it over to Tempe Camera, and they were able to pull it off. They charged us $50.
Sure.
And it was a very frustrating experience. So we got the pictures, but it wasn't working. I went to Costco. They said, what did you have to do? And we told them, I didn't ask for a dime. I just said, I think your camera and the SIM card's bad. Went back, they go, how much did it cost you to pull those photos off that card? And I was like, $54, $55. They went back and they gave me a Costco gift card. I didn't even ask. They go, go get a new camera. Here's the money you spent to get those pictures off.
That's customer service.
I mean, and I walked out of there like, I'll never not shop here. I'll never.
He's the new Costco salesman.
There you go.
Sure.
So, and we've all, I mean, you understand, in being an electrician, we all have to sometimes just do things that it's just you have to do it. And I've found out the little things. I can share a perfect example if you want about a remodel I did in Arcadia. I did a remodel in Arcadia right before Christmas, small kitchen. We tiled around the fireplace.
Yep.
We didn't touch the firebox. Tiled around the fireplace. Gets all done. Wife loved it. Husband comes up to me. He goes, Dan, the fireplace isn't working. It was working before you came here. We didn't touch the firebox. We didn't touch anything. Right. And I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? One of my friends, Greg, owns Arizona Fire Features. I'm giving a lot of plugs here to Costco, Starbucks, Fire Features. I'm getting all these plugs here. And
without pay, though.
Yeah. And I was just like, what is it going to cost to service it? And he goes, let's look at it for $85. He went and fixed it. It was like a thermocouple need to be tightened.
Nothing that you touched,
nothing,
right?
I think it was $85.
Right.
This lady went on Yelp. Holy smokes, like raving review, 5 stars across the board. I couldn't pay for that. I was like, you never know.
Right.
Last week, her front area flooded in her house from a sprinkler leaking into the house. We're doing the floor.
Yeah, of course.
20 grand. I mean, so you just never know. You never know. And it's just,
it's always, you got to do the right thing all the time.
Always.
You also touched on something that you called the pre-construction open house. What is a pre-construction open house?
This is the best marketing you could do. I got the idea from a friend of mine who did it 10 years ago.
Sure.
And we're going to start doing this. So you go into a house that you're going to be renovating. Unfortunately, it's too late on this one we're working on now. We got it a little bit behind. But the next one we do, you basically have it on a Saturday, Sunday, get some breakfast burritos, mimosas, set up signs all over the place, and you have your new blueprints of the house, what you're doing, and then you put signs up all over, invite the neighbors, invite everyone, walk them through the house. Hey, here it is, this is what it looks like, and here's what we're gonna do. And then at the end, bring them back. It costs you $500, but my friend did it in Paradise Valley. It was like 15 years ago. They got $2 million jobs and another like $500,000 job.
Well, I always like to get the neighbors involved. I see so many contractors out there that pull up in their service truck. They have no vinyl letters on it, no advertising. Nobody knows who's doing what. The neighbors are all going, who's that guy? What's he doing? Nobody talks to anybody. You're losing all that exposure. So we like to make sure that our van's clear, front and center. Everybody can see it. Definitely word of mouth is the way to go, especially from your neighbors. I want to buy, if my neighbor was treated right, I want to buy the same thing.
Sure.
I want the same experience. So let's talk about some project management. So how do you position your customers to where you're in control of your business?
Okay, so on every job, what I like to do is once we get started and get rolling, about the first week, I just sent this out to a client of mine, a kind of a little, here's what to expect. The reason I know this is because I've worked enough jobs where a lot of customers will expect you to be on their job all day, every day, 5 days a week.
Right.
Okay, so what I've come up with is just a real small checklist to let them know all my subcontractors, yourself, the plumber, drywaller, they all are bouncing on different jobs.
Sure.
So when I'm not there one day, the plumber might come in. That doesn't mean I haven't talked to the plumber or electrician to see what's up, because I'm just bidding another job up in the boulders. So you have to let them know that right up front, just because we're not there does not mean your job is important to us. And the problem is I had a guy in Scottsdale Mountain, he just was unnerved, and I had to lay it down, and he still wasn't satisfied. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, sir. we have other things to do.
Well, I think it's important to have a process.
Sure.
And let the customers know what the processes are, because you can't be everywhere at the same time. And we've dealt with that on, on even a commercial grade where they wanted somebody on site, even though there's no work to be done, they wanted to see somebody there. So it's definitely having an open conversation.
And I've got a couple other things too.
Yeah.
Okay. So I also let them know I'm a devoted dad. I got a 5 and 9-year-old. My kids take up a lot of my time. Sure. So I let them know 7 to 5. You can reach me all day. After that, just like an optometrist or a lawyer or these other guys, they don't really answer their phones. I'm not going to answer my phone.
What's the matter? You don't like getting an emergency bid? You need an emergency estimate on Saturday morning?
Yeah, no. So we just position them. I'm like, but I let them know if the house is flooding or you see and smell smoke, obviously call me.
Right.
Yeah, but most things. But this guy on vacation once, he was a builder, did apartments in Glendale, California, and he was so awesome. This guy said, he goes, I tell my customers, there's no flashing lights on my truck. Not everything's an emergency. And it was great. And I'm like, it's true, because there are emergencies. I told him, I mean,
sure,
there's the emergency, and I sent this to a customer. I also let them know I'm sending them in my construction toolbox 20-day preliminary notice, which a lot of contractors out here don't do. I send them that, let them know. The customer saw me the next day. Thank you very much for the letter, because now they know this is the flow of the job, and I'm leading them. They're not leading me.
Right.
I'm doing the work, and it's my team running through. And yeah, I feel communication and transparency. You have to just let them know. And also on top of that, if they want a construction meeting, my current clients both travel. So if they can be in town at the same time, we can meet, if needed. If we don't, I tell them, if you want one, that's fine, but it's not mandatory.
Sure. And
they're just very, very happy I communicated
Well,
that.
I think you touched on something that a lot of contractors don't know about, or they don't follow through with, is that's a pre-lien, a preliminary notice.
Right.
When it comes to the end of a job and you don't get paid for some reason, you have to protect yourself, and you have to do that ahead of the game. That allows you the right to take action when you don't get paid.
Right.
We had a client that didn't pay us, and she pretended to be asleep when the job was done, so we didn't get to her, It was a long story short, so we sent her the bill, and then she sent back saying that my guys left beer cans and cigarette butts everywhere, and I know the guy that was there doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. So we filed our lien on the project, and we took her to court. She didn't show up. We won that. And then 4 years later, when she went to sell her house, we got paid. So those are the things that can happen, how you protect yourself.
Exactly.
I'm sure she wasn't happy, and I don't know how many people can go 4 years without getting paid, but eventually we got it.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's
good. That's definitely something that's important. I think contractors should know. They should learn about. Well, we use a company, it used to be called Lean Giant. Now I think they're Titan Lean.
Yep.
So you guys look into that if you haven't already. What are your plans moving forward?
Well, right now I'm, even though I'm extremely busy right now, and it's a great time to build, obviously, out here.
Yep.
I'm starting once again the mail campaign again. I will start that, and if anyone wants to reach out to me, it'll probably take longer than this podcast is, but
Sure.
If anyone wants to reach out to me, my contact information, I can walk them through it. It's all easy. I mean, you buy stamps and letters and letterheads. It's not hard, but the way you get the addresses. We hit on new people who have just bought homes.
Gotcha.
And so anyone want to reach out, I'll leave my contact
You
information.
find that list with the title companies?
Actually, I do. It's a farm list, and they're happy to give it to you with stickers for free. They don't want a dime.
Really?
Because they want your business when you sell your house.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I've got that all set up through Fidelity. Another plug.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, no,
so
these are tips. These are great ideas. Great ideas.
This came from a dear friend of mine, and he goes, do not discount the snail mail.
Let's talk about your subs. What do you think contractors can do as a whole to become better? As far as I know, because you work, your clients are end user, but you also deal with other contractors.
Yeah.
Like me, electricians, HVAC, plumbing. Where do you think they're lacking?
I have what's called a Midwest work ethic, and people kind of look at you sideways, what's that? It's like, if I say I'm going to be somewhere, I'm going to be there, or call you the 101's tied up and I won't be there. Just communicate. And most all of my subs always pick up the phone and return a text like lightning. They're very, very good. Couple I still have to handhold. Couple I try to work on them with if you could just communicate. I understand things happen. Just communicate. If you're running half an hour late, that's fine. Just
Right.
call me, let me know. Because we had for example, when I do my job site meetings, you were over at the house on Cactus and Scottsdale, and I think we had 3 or 4 people. I try to do one job site meeting with all the subs at once instead of me meeting 6 different guys, 6 different times to try to do that. Well, if 4 guys show up and 2 don't, and they don't call me or anything, it's like we should schedule the whole day around it.
Contractors are horrible communicators. I know it.
Not you, not you, and not me.
That's what sets us apart. That's why we're trying to help each other.
But a couple of my guys got to learn to just text. It just takes 5 seconds.
Yep, I get
Running late, 101 tied up, flat tire. That's cool, but don't ignore it. So we try to work on communication and just communication and scheduling. I just got to be on top of it. I've got a whiteboard in my office. I write all up and write all over it and what's going where. And the first guys in will be mechanical, then plumbing, and then you. Right. So my mechanical is already ready for this job. I've got 3 or 4 walls to build, and then he's coming.
Gotcha. Do you like owning a business?
Yeah.
You like being the boss?
It's more like seeing things grow. It's not, I like to be in control of it. But
Sure.
yeah, but if I make a lot of money, it's because of me. If I work for a corporation and kill it, I get 3% raise. Right. But now I'm killing it and getting paid for it.
Right.
So, yeah, so I like that portion.
You ever think about quitting?
Not right now.
Let's see, what keeps you up at night?
Oh, I just want to make sure everything's done correctly, and when things are not, it's frustrating. We're in the middle of something. I had a job with no preliminary notice a couple years ago, went sideways right around Christmas 2016, and you know what they say, you can't rationalize with irrational people, and that's what I was dealing with, and that kept me up and kind of put a big damper on that whole Christmas.
He didn't pay you?
He didn't pay me. He paid me a lot. He didn't pay me all.
Gotcha.
And I did not put a pre-lien because the friend of mine gave me the job, and I got lazy. That won't happen again.
Right.
Even friends, I'm sorry, I'm going to pre-lien you, buddy. You're getting it. So with this customer, there was nothing wrong with what we did. The house is beautiful. I was ready to put it on my website. The problem is they made change orders. Mm-hmm. The change orders were large, like 14 to 16 can lights and a 16-foot ceiling. That doesn't happen in 2 days.
Sure.
And they had 14 change orders on the job. Well, what I didn't communicate with him is those change orders are going to extend your job, and we were supposed to be in there at Christmas.
Gotcha.
Well, this was February, and all the change orders backed up, and he was really upset. We were 5 days from finishing. The house was livable. We were cleaning it, changing a light. It was totally done. Floors in, painted, everything done. Cabinets ready, passed the certificate of occupancy, all done. And he just goes, we're done. We're done. I'm not paying you. I'll pay your subs. We're done. I'm not going to pay you the end what I owe you. Let me know what the baby. You got to get out of my house.
Because of the deadline?
Yeah, because the deadline went over.
Yep.
Deadline went over. It wasn't that we didn't do anything wrong. It was just he was sick and tired of waiting. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I called the register contractors. They're like, if someone wants you to leave.
Right.
Yeah. I was like, I've never had that. And, talked to an attorney, talked to a couple people, and I understood that he'll have 5 lawyers and I'll have 1. Right. This will not win. The friend that gave me the job actually called him, talked to him for about an hour and a half, talked him back into letting me finish. The guy agreed, and then a day later sent me a long scathing text. He's like, you're not coming back. About a day later, I'm brushing my teeth, and can I get a little religious real quick? I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. And as clear as day, I was brushing my teeth, and this voice spoke to me. You need to go finish the job, even if you don't get paid. Like audible, like I'd stop brushing my teeth. I'm like, all right. I was like, okay. What's the worst that could happen? He could change his mind and slip me the money. So, I was like, wow. So I called him back. It's like a day after the scathing text, yep. And I go, I need to talk to you really quick. It was mellow and stuff, and I'm like, I need like 90 seconds. Just give me the floor for 90 seconds. When I'm done, you can say whatever you want. I told him that I'm a Christian. I believe in the Word of God. I want to finish your job. I'll sign anything you want stating you don't owe me anything. Subs get paid. I want to get in, get out. I have a duty to complete my jobs. And I feel very, I don't remember what I said. I felt bad that it wasn't finished in a timely manner. Sure. I want to get it done for you. What do you think? He goes, hey, Dan, that sounds pretty good. Can you come over Tuesday? I'm like, okay. I came over Tuesday and basically told her the same thing, which I'm sure he told her, but for some reason he wanted me to come over there and tell her. Told her the same thing. She goes, nah, appreciate it, but we're going to get someone else to finish. I'm like, all right. I did all I could.
Yep.
And I talked to my friend, and he goes, Dan, the reason they didn't accept you doing that is because they couldn't deal with the guilt of me doing it and
not paying them.
Yep.
Not paying.
He goes, that's why. They
well, I mean, there's an easy solution there. Just pay me the money. Like, give me.
Yeah, but you know what? I couldn't have done any more.
Right.
What else could I have done?
All you got to do is do the right thing, and you touched on that earlier. Let's talk about, if you didn't do this, what would you do?
I wouldn't mind teaching things I've maybe learned.
For sure.
Yeah, there's a need for hands-on people. I mean, you can't outsource wiring walls. You can't outsource framing.
Right.
You know, they can build as many
applications.
Manufactured houses, but you can't get a loan on one of those. First off, my uncle said it best. He goes, "There's nothing like working with your hands."
For sure.
There's nothing. I mean, you see my CPA, he's on a 10 key. I'm like, how do you figure that out? He's like, how do you build? You know, everyone has their skills.
Yep,
but my kids are very excited to go and sweep this project on Saturday. They're going to go and they're going to put in their sweep, and they want me to buy them tool belts. So my kids are going to learn a work
ethic. Them to work, give them a
right.
couple $. They'll learn the system.
Exactly.
Well, I think that covered everything, Dan. I think, why don't you let us know how people get a hold of you if they want to ask questions or look at
it? Basically, Deb's website is www.sonorandeserthomes.com. Email is dan@sonorandeserthomes.com, and phone number 602-545-4600.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate you coming in.
You bet. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you like what we're doing here, subscribe to our podcast at iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher, and to our YouTube channel to see more episodes. Go to upandtotherright.org to get all the links.